Okay, this is your state trauma station. You are being dispatched to a female patient involved in a motorcycle accident.
Okay. I'm going to ensure that the scene is safe. I'm going to take proper body substance isolation precautions, me and my partner. We appear that we have one patient. We have a mechanism of injury based on the motorcycle accident dispatch. We are going to call for ALS at this time. We are entering the scene. I'm going to have my partner take C-spine. I'm going to form a general impression of my patient. My patient appears to be supine, appears to be unresponsive at this time. I don't see any hazards in the area. Ma'am, are you okay? Can you hear me? My patient is not responding to verbal stimuli. Ma'am, can you hear me? My patient is not responding to painful stimuli. My patient is unresponsive. At this time, my patient's chief complaint is that they are unresponsive. I'm going to check for airway, breathing, circulation. I'm going to have my partner do a jaw thrust maneuver for the airway. My patient's airway is now open. My patient appears to be breathing at this time. I'm going to check for circulation, the presence of a pulse. The patient does have a present pulse, which is a radial pulse, and also a carotid pulse at this time. The skin is warm, pink, and dry. I'm checking. I do not see any major bleeding. This is a priority patient and will transport as soon as possible. I'm going to start my rapid trauma assessment. I'm going to be checking for deformities, contusions, abrasions, punctures, penetrations, burns, tenderness, lacerations, and swelling. I'm going to check the pupils. Patient's pupils are round, equal, and reactive to light. I'm going to check the patient's ears, nose, and mouth for debris. I do not see any at this time. I'm going to move on with my assessment. I'm checking the neck for deformities, contusions, abrasions, punctures, penetrations, burns, tenderness, lacerations, and swelling. My patient's trachea is midline and I do not have any JVD. I'm going to place the patient on a collar. Okay. Now I'm going to place my patient on 15 liters via non-rebreather mask. I'll fill my reservoir bag, place the patient on oxygen. Go. Okay, patient's placed on oxygen. I'm going to continue with my assessment, checking for deformities, contusions, abrasions, punctures, penetrations, burns, tenderness, lacerations, and swelling. Checking for equal rise and fall, which I have. Check for breath sounds, high and wet. They are present and equal on both sides. Now I'm going to check the patient's arm so that my partner can get vital signs. I'm going to check for deformities, contusions, abrasions, punctures, penetrations, burns, tenderness, lacerations, and swelling. I have a pulse. You feel me touching your fingers? Can you wiggle your fingers? Okay.
You're a bystander, could you come help me?
Yes.
And would you put your hands over top of mine?
I'm going to continue on with my assessment.
And then I'm gonna
Checking
slide
for
my hands
deformities,
off,
contusions,
okay?
abrasions, punctures, penetrations, burns, tenderness, lacerations, and swelling of the abdomen. I'm going to check the pelvis for deformities, contusions, abrasions, punctures, penetrations, burns, tenderness, lacerations, and swelling. Checking in and down for stability. My pelvis is stable. Continue with the leg. I'm checking for deformities, contusions, abrasions, punctures, penetrations, burns, tenderness, lacerations, and swelling. Presence of a pulse. You feel me touching? Can you wiggle your toes? And continue on, checking for deformities, contusions, abrasions, punctures, penetrations, burns, tenderness, lacerations, and swelling. Checking for the presence of a pulse. Can you feel me touching? Can you wiggle your toes? And continue with an upper extremity, deformities, contusions, abrasions, punctures, penetrations, burns, tenderness, lacerations, and swelling. I have a present pulse. You feel me touching? Can you wiggle your fingers? Okay. Get my board ready for the patient.
So I'm gonna take the seat line back, I want you to keep your hands there, I'm gonna put my hands over top of yours. Then I just want you to slide your hands out for me, and then if you could please help my partner.
Sure.
Sir, I'm going to have you come right over here by me, please.
Okay.
What we're going to do is we're going to roll the patient over towards us so that we can assess her back. I need you to place a hand here and right here. Place a hand here and here. And on the head count, we're going to roll on 3.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, I'm going to assess for deformities, contusions, abrasions, punctures, penetrations, burns, tenderness, lacerations, and swelling. Okay, back is clear. Okay, on my partner's count, we're going to roll the patient back down on 3.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, thank you, sir. We're going to get the patient centered on the board. What I'm going to have you do is take a hold right here, and I'm going to pull here, and on the partner's count, we're going to go down and to the left.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Okay? Looks like we need to go straight back up on my partner's count.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you, sir, very much. My partner was able to, she would obtain sample history from anybody or the patient if they were able. Reassess pulse motor sensation. Checking for a pulse. You feel me touching? Can you wiggle your fingers? Checking for a pulse. Can you feel me touching? Can you wiggle your fingers? Checking for a pulse. Can you feel me touching? Can you wiggle your toes? Checking for a pulse. Can you feel me touching? Can you wiggle your toes? Okay. All right. At this time, we're going to load the patient into the ambulance. We're going to transport to the closest trauma facility. My patient, I'm going to call report en route. We're going to check vital signs every 5 minutes on the way to the hospital. I have a female patient involved in a motorcycle accident. Negative assessment at this time, besides that she's unresponsive. We have her fully immobilized. She's on 15 liters on her breather. BP 116/70. Rest of 20, pulse is 62, strong and regular. And we'll see you in about 5 minutes.